Hello, hello, I'm Casey.
And I'm Fallon. And this is Render the Darkness. How's everybody doing today? We're cold.
Can you see our breath? Even if you could, that was like way too fast.
Yeah.
Look, I was trying to eat it.
Okay.
Sorry. Scratch that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
If I could turn back time, I wouldn't have done that.
Turn back time.
Oh, not copyrighted.
No. It's a good song though.
It is. It always reminds me of the Will and Grace episode with Jack where he keeps doing the share thing. Whoa. Sorry.
That's okay. So, fun fact.
Oh, me. Welcome back. I'm over here thinking about Will and Grace.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Okay, so before I give my fun fact, you want to tell us where we're at?
We are in Maryland.
Now my fun fact will make sense.
Yes,
Yay.
I forgot again. Did that last time too.
Fun fact is that the Ouija board was invented in Baltimore, Maryland in 1890s by Elijah Wood. No, not that Elijah Wood.
That would have been so cool.
He would be on the list of people that never age.
Yeah.
Also, he would be like 200. Yeah. Well, that was terrible math. Be 135.
He'd just be really old. Really old.
But it would be cool if it was that Elijah Wood. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's took the powers of the Ouija board in, and he's like,
or it could be a relative.
Oh, maybe it's a family name, or it's a stage name and not his real name at all. I don't know. I've never Wikipedia'd Elijah Wood. I don't know why. I really like him as an actor. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's not too bad. Not too bad.
Not sponsored. We're not sponsored by Elijah Wood in any way.
I was like, not too bad.
I just really like him as an actor.
Okay, so as we said, and I forgot to mention earlier, this is a episode out of Maryland, and it's part of our 50-state series. And this one is going to be about some cryptids that have called Maryland home for many, 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 many years.
Where's this one out of?
Maryland. I say Maryland.
Yeah, you said Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the Goatman.
Aww.
Now, this cryptid comes from Prince George County, and one story behind the legend of this creature is that a man was doing research and experiments in 1970 on goats at the Beltsville Agriculture Research Center.
Oh, so this one's not very old.
No. Now, during the experiment, something went horribly wrong, and he was turned into a terrifying creature with his upper body being turned into a goat.
Well, that's a turn.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like the lower half is turned into whatever animal.
Well, now other accounts claim that he was indeed half goat, but his lower body was that of a goat, and his feet were hooves, and his whole body was covered in hair.
If only I had a way to read ahead and know that.
Yeah. Now, according to a few sources, he looked like a mythical fawn creature. Some say that he will make a squealing sound before he strikes his victims.
Aren't fawns deers?
No, you know, like the little fawns with the hooves, and then they're like little flutes and little horns.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought that started with a C.
Oh, you have Google.
I swear to God, we run a cryptids podcast.
But yeah, that's, a little, that guy.
All right. But it's also a deer.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's not a mythical creature.
Well, you didn't say mythical fawn. You just said fawn.
Yeah, mythical fawn creature.
Oh, you did say mythical fawn. I'm going to stop talking. Carry on.
The Goatman's terrain and hunting ground is believed to range from Beltsville to Bowie, Mitchville, and Upper Marlboro. There have been stories about the creature from the 1950s up to the 1970s, and many sightings have been reported in Fletchertown and Lotsford Road, or on Fletchertown and Lotsford Road.
You said Mitchville.
Mitchellville? Mitchellville?
You can't say Mitchellville, but you can say Marlboro?
Well, anywho, on October 27th, 1971, Prince George County News published a story about the University of Maryland's folklore archives that talked about the creature. Then, 2 weeks later, the same person wrote an article that said, quote, "Residents fear Goatman lives. Dog found decapitated in Old Bowie."
Oh.
Because there was a family who thought that the Goatman had killed their puppy, Ginger.
Oh.
Now, there are a few other versions of how the Goatman came to be. One is that a doctor named Stephen Fletcher had said he created the creature by using the DNA of a goat, and his lab assistant named William Lotsford.
Oh. Why would you proclaim that? I really like, just calm down, guys. It's okay. I created it.
But if you look at the names, you'll see they have a similarity to the roads that I mentioned earlier, where a lot of people have seen the creature. In 2013, the facility flat out denied the story.
I would too.
Well, they should just be like, yeah, it happened. I synced it. Now, another story that some teenagers had destroyed a herd of goats, so the herder summoned and sent out a Bigfoot-type creature, which was an evil spirit named, hopefully I said this right, Oki, by the Native Americans to get revenge. A couple people from well-known families that have lived there for a long time told Mark, again, hopefully I said this correctly, Opasnik? Yep. Opasnik?
I would say it.
Who was the Prince George County historian, that the story was made up to scare children into, what they weren't supposed to do, saying, quote, "The Goatman would get them if they didn't do what they were told." However, if that were the case, why were there photos going around of the creature in 2016? And why were there claimed to have been seen as recent as 2024 on Facebook?
Because that was when CGI and AI were really taking off.
So, what do you think? Made up story to make children behave? Or is there a real Goatman that lurks around Maryland?
Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I much prefer the idea that he took the DNA and mixed it with his assistant and got the Goatman.
With permission, hopefully.
I didn't say that.
I hope he forced it on
that
you.
I know you didn't say. I was paying very close attention to
No,
that
I'm just
part.
saying I hope he had his permission. And you're like... Sound like you're like, I hope you made him do it.
I hope he had no choice.
Yep.
Otherwise, why would he be angry?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't like the way his hooves looked. I'm not a Goatman.
No, I do think that it's possible for something like that to exist. I absolutely do.
Oh yeah, for
absolutely.
Sure.
Joking aside, sorry, I'm making too many jokes.
Well, no, I mean, it's a case where we're meant to be able to have fun.
But that is one of the things that we do really like about being able to do these kinds of cases. Is these are the kinds of cases where we do get to kind of let loose a little bit and have a little bit of fun with it. It doesn't mean that we don't believe what we're reading. We're not. I mean, if we didn't believe it, we wouldn't tell it on our podcast. So, I mean, if we didn't believe it was possible, I guess I should say, in some kind of a way. Anyway, back to your story.
Okay, so the next cryptid we're going to talk about is called Chessie. Now, this cryptid is said to live in the Chesapeake Bay area that is between Maryland and Virginia. Now, the bay stretches inland and forms a shallow area of water that is over 200 miles from the entrance to the, hopefully I say this correctly, Susquehanna River to the Atlantic Ocean. Now, that is the largest area in the United States where fresh water mixes with seawater at 4,479 square miles.
That's a lot.
There are 3,600 different types of plants and animals that call this place home. Examples are blue crab, oysters, striped bass, blue herons, and possibly could be the home of the sea monster known as Chessie. Now, sightings go as far back as 1846, but we're going to start with the sighting in July of 1978. Donald Kiker was out on his back porch enjoying the quiet of the Potomac, well, I don't know what happened there, Potomac River when he knows something in the river. Now, he used to be a CIA, once I mess up, it's just downhill. Now, he used to be a CIA agent, CIA, I can't do it. He used to be a CIA agent before he retired, and he had what he liked to call, quote, strong power of observation. Now, what he saw in the river that day didn't make any sense to him. Close to a month later, newspapers would say that the thing in the water was, quote, the size of a telephone pole with its head raised above the water, moving down the river about 60 yards from the shore. It was claimed that the creature would swim up and down instead of sideways. It was also recorded that he said, quote, it was absolutely smooth as a snake or an eel, but it did not move through the water like a snake or an eel. When he first seen the creature, he thought someone was playing a joke on him or it was a group of otters swimming in a line. He would soon realize that that wasn't the case when people living down the river saw the creature too. There were experts who tried to convince everyone that people were misidentifying the creature, but Donald Kiker stood firm on his sightings, and just like that, it said, quote, Chessie was born. A couple who lived by the river named Howard and Myrtle Smoot claimed to have seen 4 weird creatures. 2 that were about 30 feet long and 2 that were 15 feet long. Howard ran into his house and got one of his guns and shot one of them in the neck. When the bullet hit the creature, Myrtle said, quote, it rose out of the water and disappeared. The couple having children and grandkids that were often in the lake, they wanted to find out exactly what the creature was and if it was dangerous. It's not really known what those 3 people saw, but the press ran with the stories, talking about sea monsters in the water. After newspapers published some articles about it, several people came forward saying that they had seen the creature in the lake too. Over the years, the sightings of Chessie kept occurring, with the 80s seeing the most activity with around 78 sightings between 1982 through 1988, which a lot came after the videotape in 1982 that showed an unknown creature swimming in the water. Now, Bob Frew is the one who claims to have been the first to record Chessie. In the article on WBAL-TV 11, Bob describes the creature as, quote, a telephone pole that swims not like a snake. There were 4, 5, 6 of us here. We all saw it. Frew said it went around the other side of the island, up in the rocks, to a place called Cloverfield, and a commercial artist there sketched it, and it was exactly what we saw on film. A man named Eric Chisholm researched many of the sightings and the impact they had on Chesapeake Bay. He says that he doesn't try to answer the question of, is Chessie real? Because, quote, when I was 8 years old, Chessie was about the realest thing I could imagine. He also talks about the history of Chessie in the 1970s and how the movie Jaws created fear surrounding the waters, and at that time people in Maryland were watching the health of the bay. So for 10 to 15 years, Chessie played a crucial role in the environmental awareness. In 1985, there was a law put forward that would protect Chessie. There were some scientists from the Smithsonian who watched Bob Frew's video and said that it was definitely an animal, but they weren't sure what kind. Bob still swears he saw the creature that day. Now, the last known sighting of Chessie was in 2014. Chris Gardner wrote an article called Chasing Chessie, where he talks about his encounter with the creature. He would say that he would say that him and one of his friends were in his car eating McDonald's, which they would do a few times a week. They were looking at the Gothi River while talking on August 5th, 2014 at around 1:40 in the morning. He said that he noticed the tide was starting to rise up to the bottom of the docks when he noticed something in the water about 5 feet away. He would claim that it looked like a snake swimming through the water and that it had to have been at least 20 feet in length. It didn't come all the way out of the water, just the head and tail could be seen. He told his friend to look out the window, and he didn't know what they were seeing either. Mr. Gardner called and spoke to someone about it named Joe Evans, who was really interested but disappointed he didn't get a photo. He told him to make sure to get a photo if he sees Chessie again and to call him back. One explanation that he found from the internet was that it could be a relative of the anacondas that escaped in the 18th and 19th century ships from the South America. He's not 100% on board with it because the information did come from Wikipedia, but now he knows that what it feels like to be someone who has seen something remarkable but not have any evidence to support his claim. So, the last cryptid we are going to talk about is called the Pigfaced Lady. Sorry, I thought I'd get more reaction. You're just like,
No, I swear I've done a case with somebody who had that name.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah, I remember. That's what they called the lady in my case with the preacher and the mistress that he was with. They found him underneath the tree. Oh, it was one of my very first cases. The lady who lived in the orchard behind where the tree was. That's what they called her.
Really? I don't know if it's the same thing.
No, this was like an actual woman. They just called her that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was going to say, I'm sorry, did I just steal one of your stories?
No. This is an actual person that they called that because I remember making the comment in the video about how that was a horrible name.
I was like, that's rude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so this cryptid comes from Cecil County. The land is breathtaking during the day, but they say when night comes, the land is roamed by the pig woman looking for her prey. Some think that she now roams the river hills of southern Lancaster County as well. Some have claimed to have seen her in the northeast Elkin, and there are even reports in Rising Sun as far back as the 60s of her hunting the grounds. The story of how she came to be is kind of a sad and horrific one. The story goes that there was an old farmhouse close to the town of Northeast. Somehow that farmhouse caught on fire and engulfed the whole home. There was a woman on the top floor when the fire broke out, and she wasn't able to get out on her own. Now, it said that there were other people in or around the home, and unfortunately, they left her there as they ran from the house to protect themselves. Trying to save her life, she jumped from the window, but her face had been disfigured by the fire. People were said to only be able to stand and watch in horror as she screamed and ran into the darkness of the woods, and she has been hunting those woods ever since.
That's awful.
Yeah. It's rumored that her favorite prey are teenagers that are parked in hidden areas doing what a lot of teenagers do at that age. Some think that she has taken over the old bridge on Russell Road that is south of Route 1 and lives underneath it. It's thought that she has power and she can make cars stop whenever she wants, making hunting much easier. According to legend, the lucky ones to live after the encounter say they have terrible memories, scratches on their bodies, and dents all over their cars. But there are also stories of when they don't. One story is about how a teenage boy bothered the woman, so she turned him into a tree, and it said that it's still on the side of the road, and its trunk looks like a pair of legs. Now, to this day, people claim to hear a pig squealing in the woods at night where the pig-faced lady still roams. Now, I tried to find a picture of the tree, but I couldn't find the exact one. So that is my case on Cryptids of Maryland.
Maryland's got some creepy cryptids.
Yeah.
The pig-faced lady would not want to run into her.
No. Can you just imagine something coming at you squealing like a pig?
No.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
I will say, that's one of the few states that I know of that have actually implemented a law on the protection of a cryptid. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
There's another one that I think also did it on. I think it was on Bigfoot.
They implemented a law to protect Bigfoot.
I think so. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, I believe
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That just makes me want to go visit Maryland even more because that state is beautiful, and I would like to visit it one day. But I'd like to stay away from the areas where the pig lady is.
Yeah.
But that's really neat. Well, super cool. Thank you for sharing the Cryptids of Maryland.
You're very welcome. Thank you for, sitting through it and, yeah.
I love sitting through your stories.
Well, I love sitting through your stories too.
Thanks. I think we have totally different reasons why, but I'll take it.
Mine's probably for a nice reason. Yours is probably just for being rude. Making fun of me any chance you can.
And well, you don't even have to be reading the case. It works either way.
There goes my
win-win.
I try to tame it, y'all. I really do. But sometimes it just... But we appreciate you hanging out.
Yes, we do. We appreciate it very much, and we hope you enjoyed the case. And yeah, we hope you keep watching.
Yeah.
Coming back, hanging out.
Yeah. Come say hi. Say hi.
Yeah, feel free to message, say hi, reach out. Want to be a guest on the podcast? Want us to be a guest on your podcast?
Yeah.
Let us know.
We will do it.
2026. This is the year of hopefully. There's a word I'm looking for. Cross-platforming. That's
Change.
what I'm looking for. Yeah, change.
Leah Plurido.
That's not even close to the
I don't know. It
same.
just popped in my head. I don't know why. You know, Jared going, Leah Plurido. I'm going to stop there.
Anyway, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.